If you're always getting wrist pain when you're benching and you're having to use wrist wraps to cover up that pain, don't worry, I was in the exact same situation as you. So that's why I made this change on my bench press grip, which got rid of all of my pain, and I don't even have to use wrist wraps when I bench now. I do them completely without it. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you the exact changes I made to my grip that helped me go from having a painful bench to pain-free and feeling so much stronger. So getting into the first mistake that I made and what other people make and that I see and you'll probably see when they bench as well is starting with the bar too high up in their hand. So either on this middle part here or on their fingers. I'll show you quickly now. So they will start with the bar very high up like this, and you can see as I unrack the bar, my wrists are very bent, and my wrist and my shoulder and my elbow and the bar is not in line, so they're not stacked. So if I'm benching from here, it's a very, very awkward position because my joints aren't stacked and I'm not in the strongest position I can be in. And even just being in that position there was extremely awkward. I don't even know how I used to bench like that because that feels absolutely horrible on my wrist. And that's why you see people wearing wrist wraps, because they're compensating for actually having that wrist pain because of poor wrist position. Now, I'm not saying don't use wrist wraps. I'm saying make sure you have a good wrist and bar position before you actually use them. And then that's fair game whether you want to use them or not. I personally don't use wrist wraps anymore when bench pressing, but using them is absolutely fine. So, where should you actually have the bar in your hand? Now, you should have it on the lower bottom part here because it's going to make sure that all of your joints are stacked, and this is going to be the strongest position possible. So I'll show you that now and where you want to have it. So instead of having the bar up in the high part here, you're going to want to have it in the lower part of your hands. You can see now, as I'm unracking the bar, my joints are stacked and my wrist isn't as bent back and high in my hands. Now, you don't want to have your wrists completely straight. You want them to have a slight bend in them because this will be the strongest position for you. So have it in the bottom part here, if you can see that, and then this will be the best position for you to bench from. So let's get into the different styles of grips you can actually use when bench pressing, the benefits of some of them, and some of the cons. Now, the first one is the one you've already saw, which is going to be the neutral grip bench press. Now, this is very easy to do, and you just set yourself up as you normally would, and as I said before, make sure the bar is in the lower part of your hand, and then just press from here. Make sure your hand is fully wrapped around the bar, all your fingers are wrapped around, and this is where you can bench from. So, very easy to do, but this may not be the strongest position for everyone, and I would normally recommend the next one for most people, but we'll get into that now. So the next one is going to be the bulldog grip. I personally use this. I used to use neutral grip a lot, but then I converted to bulldog grip since I just feel so much stronger. So when you're in bulldog grip, you're internally rotating more, so it's very easy to flare your elbows out and get into a more stacked position, which will be a stronger position. And I feel much stronger in this. So that's the pro when it comes to bulldog grip. You will most likely feel very strong. The con is it's going to put a little bit more pressure on your shoulders. And if you lack the mobility and you have a very long range of motion, it might be very hard to actually stay in bulldog grip and stay in a very flared and internally rotated position. So I would say if you're able to do it and you feel comfortable and strong, definitely do it. But if you can't do it because of mobility limitations or it just doesn't feel very good, I would stay with neutral grip. There isn't anything wrong with that, but bulldog grip can be very good to try. So as I said, the difference is neutral grip, you have your hand straight forward. With this, you're turning it in a little bit more. So with bulldog grip, what you want to do is set up normally, have your hands straight as if you're going to do neutral grip, but turn them in. So now I'm in this position here. So my hands are turned in, but the bar is still in the bottom part of my palm. And then what you want to do, wrap your thumb around the bar and then have your fingers resting on the top. Now, you can have them wrapped around, but I'd recommend have them resting on the top, but don't push down with your fingers. Just have them there resting, but have your thumb wrapped around the bar for safety. You want to be able to bench like you wouldn't have fingers on there, basically. So don't want to press down, have all of that pressure in the bottom of your palm. And now I'm going to move the camera closer quickly just so you can see all of that exactly. So start from a neutral grip here, turn your hand in, wrap the thumb around the bar, have the fingers resting on the top, and then unrack it like that, making sure you're not putting too much pressure through your fingers and they're just resting there and having them there for safety and to secure the bar. So, I hope you guys found this video helpful, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.